Behold and see if there be any sorrow like unto my sorrow, which is done unto me wherewith the Lord hath afflicted me in the day of his fierce anger. Before I read on, do y'all all know what's went on right here? Do y'all know why that this prophet is talking about what he's talking about? Nebuchadnezzar has came in. Nebuchadnezzar has came in. And that city of Jerusalem was known as this. In verse chapter number 2, in verse number 15, it said, all that passed by clapped their hands at thee. They wagged their head at the daughter of Jerusalem, saying, is this city the man that men called the perfection of beauty, the joy of the whole earth? Hey, when Solomon built that temple and was right in the eyes of God and the glory, that's why when they was carried away to Babylon and they came back and God used Zerubbabel to lay the foundation of the house of God, were some of them old men that was carried away and seen the temple of Solomon. The Bible said that day when they laid the foundation of the house of God, you got to remember what they came from. They came from a city of gold. They came from the glory of God, sacrificing sheep without number and the glory coming down in a cloud. The Bible said some of the elder men started weeping while the young men was rejoicing. They'd never seen a temple. They'd never seen anything like that. The Bible said you couldn't discern between the shouting and the weeping that day. Amen. That's why you hear old people talk about meetings of days gone by. Don't get mad at them for that. They just sing the Lord, the house in His first glory. Amen. They just sing that glory of God. Amen. Before there was a lot of the things that they are now. So get this in mind. The beauty of the whole earth, which is Jerusalem, Nebuchadnezzar came in and tore the city completely down, carried Jerusalem away down to Babylon, and now they're all down here. And let me tell you something about this prophet. I'll tell you something God showed me about him this week. He warned every one of them it was going to happen. He told every one of them it was coming. But not one time in the book of Lamentations did he say, I told you so. Not one time did he say, I warned you, but you wouldn't listen. You know what he did? You know what this man of God did? He said, God, we have sinned. He put himself with the number. That's why he's a man of God. That's why he's a man of God. That's right.
And the people shunned it off.
That's right.
They thought it was crazy, but we're living.
Amen. Amen. Now you want the formula for you people to be saved? Are you even interested in it? The devil has blinded the church's minds from this. What I'm getting ready to read to you, the devil has blinded your mind. It ain't that your daily activities, it's your daily activities are sinful and wrong. It's the devil has blinded your mind from what I'm getting ready to read to you. It said it's nothing for you that you pass by, talking about the city of God. And behold and see there any sorrow like unto my sorrow, which is done to me, wherewith the Lord hath afflicted me in the day of his fierce anger. From above hath he sent fire into my bones, and prevaileth against them. He hath spread a net for my feet. He hath turned me back. He hath made me desolate and faint all the day. The yoke of my transgressions is bound up by his hand. They are wreathed and come upon my neck. He hath made my strength to fall. Delivered me into their hands, from whom I am not able to rise up. The Lord hath trodden under foot all my mighty men in the midst of me. He hath called an assembly against me to crush my young men. The Lord hath trodden the virgin, the daughter of Judah in the winepress. For these things I weep. My eye runneth down with water, because the comforter they should relieve my soul is so far from me. My children are desolate, because the enemy prevailed. Zion spreadeth forth her hands, and there is none to comfort her. The Lord hath commanded concerning Jacob, and his adversaries should be round about him. Jerusalem is as a mistress woman among them. The Lord is righteous. I have rebelled against his commandment. Hear, I pray you, all you people. Behold my sorrow, my virgins, my young men are gone into captivity. I called for my lovers, but they deceived me. My priests and my elders gave up the ghost in the city. when they sought their meat to relieve their souls. Behold, O Lord, for I am in distress. My bowels are troubled. My heart is turned within me. I have grievously rebelled abroad. The sword bereaveth. At home there is a death. They have heard that I sigh. There is none to comfort me. All my enemies have heard of my trouble. They are glad that hast done it. That will bring the day thou hast called. Thou shalt be likened unto me. Let all of their wickedness come before thee, and do them as thou hast done unto me. For all of my transgressions, for sighs are many, and my heart is faint. Later on in this book right here, Jeremiah said, my weeping and my crying is without intermission. Later on in this book, he said, oh, that my head was a river, and my eyes was a fountain of tears. We had some of the greatest preaching that we ever had in revival. We had some of the greatest shouting in victory. We had some of the greatest things that's ever went on. But the thing that was missing, the thing that we didn't see none, the thing, now some of you may have, and I pray that I'm not taking it away from you, but there was a sound that used to be heard common in the church. There was a sound that went out from these altars, amen, that you used to hear common in the church. What was that? It was the altars full of Rachel's. Rachel's was on the altar, crying, weeping, mourning, begging God, God, don't let my children go to hell. Oh God, save my people. That's why we did not see our sinners saved. That's why, amen, until we, now we can talk about, amen, what if we're in a day where God's removed the burden? I can't find that scripturally. I've had 25 people in the last 5 years say, well, what if God don't give a burden? What if we're so bad? I can't find that in the book nowhere. It's not in the book. God will give you a burden. Now see, the devil has blinded your eyes. Now Tim, you got 2 boys that's lost, ain't that right? Now can you imagine your boys are dying and going to hell? Can you imagine your children waking up in a literal burning fire screaming, Daddy! Mommy! I'm in hell! Can you imagine your family? But you don't hear that no more. You've got to get it in your mind. The people you love, the people that you would die for. Amen. If they come in with a gun right now, you'd stick your chest out and say, if somebody's got to go, let it be me. Because you know you got right with God and God's going to take you. But you imagine your babies. You imagine them little boys you carried around 9 months in your, got up at night, amen, wiped the fever head, carried them around, sold everything you had, give everything you got to them, did everything that you could to help them prosper, and they die and they go to hell. Moms used to know that, and dads used to know that, and they'd come to the altar. And you'd hear 25 women, whoa, oh, you say, preacher, you're being silly. Jeremiah said, I'm going to cry. He said, I'm going to sigh for my people. He said, I'm going to weep day and night. He said, I'm going to cry. That beautiful city that God had once had his hand on has now become desolate. The preachers prophesied smooth things. They told everybody everything was going to be all right. And now desolation has came. Amen. This church, and man, like every other church, is in trouble unless we get back on the altars. We get back on our hands and our face crying. If you'll get down and get a prayer through to God, it'll take care of every little thought, every little habit you got. It'll take care of everything that you got going on in your life to get down here. Am I right? Amen. Am I right, church? Yeah, but they used to be weeping. That's how we're going to get Joseph. Same way we're going to get my boys and cheer my girls. Oh, God. Oh, God. I'm not trying to tell you how to pray. I'm just telling you the sounds, amen, that used to be here. So if I know what I know now, when we'd have the revival, every night, it wouldn't have mattered what would have went on. It wouldn't have mattered who wanted to go home. You know what I would have done? I'd have called for the husbands and the wives. I'd have called for the children. I'd have called for the mothers that needed to come up here. Because if their baby got killed in a car accident today, if their husband died in a car accident today, if they had a heart attack and left out of here today, amen, they know that they'd be screaming. You see, people don't talk about hell no more. They don't want to hear about hell no more. They don't want to hear about the dangers that's going to hell. But let me tell you what your Lord said. Broad is the way. Amen. Broad is the way that leadeth into destruction, and many be that go in thereat. There's more people going to die and go to hell, amen, than there will go to heaven. And I'm sad to say, most of the people that I love, if they died today, they'd be lifting their eyes in the lake of fire. And that don't make us cry no more. That don't make us mourn no more. If I could go get a casket, bring a casket in here, lay a casket right up here. And then I'd like to get a picture of Jacob. And I'd like to get a picture of Jared. And I'd like to lay that picture in there. I'd like to get a picture of my son-in-law. And I'd like to put Addison's daddy in there. I'd like to go get a picture of Zachary and lay that up here. And then let's have a wake service. Come on. Let's have a wake service. Let's all come by and do the casket. Let's all make us a line out the doors. And let's all come by and look down in the casket and see who's laying out there. If you see me, Hannah, you clap your hands. Look at it, John. If you see me, you say, praise the Lord. If you see me, amen, up here, you say, bless the Lord, oh my soul. But they son, if you seen their face laying in that casket, oh God, you wouldn't care about your makeup then, honey. You wouldn't care about who was watching you then. Amen. I've seen them scream. I've seen them cut a shine. I've seen them pass out. Too late. Too late. Too late. Too late. Too late. It's over. So that's what's gone. That's what's missing. Until we can have a wake service. See who's laying up there in these caskets going to die. Until we can get mamas and daddies. Now, I can't put it in because I can't put it in myself. Too busy, Sarah. It ain't that we're sinning, it's the devil's got our minds blinded from the fact of our people going to hell. We need to weep. That's why husbands and wives shouldn't bicker and batter against each other. They ought to lock arms and say, let's pray for our children. You get praying for your children, all that old silly stuff that you find about and get hateful about, you won't worry about that no more. You get to send them grandchildren. Can you imagine? Hannah grew up and died with the hell. Or if Addison grew up and died with the hell. My heart is wrapped up in her. Y'all understand that? Yeah. My life is wrapped up in her. I love her. Can you imagine her dying and going to hell? Can you imagine listening to her scream? Papa! Get me out of here! So when I was up there praying, Johnny, God said you had good preaching. God said you had great singing. You had great unity. You had great churches coming together. But you didn't have no weeping. I said, God, I'm sorry. You got my mind. The devil's got my mind such in a mess.